Now we go to the second of our 4 pre-finals. It is Junior Rotax. Here is your starting grid for a capacity 36 drivers. Kasper Schormans leading the way after the ranking after heats will start on pole position. Alongside him will be Mateo Radenkovic, Boluet and Timo Jungling in the 224 and the 265. That's row 2. The 276 of Alberto Kiko Fracassi and the 244 of Kenzo Craigie round out row 3. Lucas Sell in the 235 and the 230 of Boris Maximov. That's row number 4. Row 5 completing the top 10. It's Archie Clark in the 247 and Max Sidersky in the 297. Running out the top 20, it's the 264 of Julian Kovacevic, the 234 of Max Cuthbert, the 229 of August Reber, the 212 of Armand Hamilton, the 228 of Thomas Ingram Hill, the 295 of Zain El Homossani, Tom Streller in the 238, Krik Knorren in the 262, Laura Bubanova in the 281, and Joshua Graham, who had to fight back through the heats yesterday, rounds out the top 20 in the 298. Hamza Al-Fayez, Matthias Jellerup, Charlie Smith, Thomas Behrman, Casper Nissen, Theo Palmer, Ollie Wise, Ryan Bourguignon, Antoine Grissel, and Olivier Jonkers round out the top 30, and completing the 36-strong grid with the 6 drivers qualifying through the second chance heat: Noah Janssen, Tay Stevens, Cameron Nelson, Oscar Gucho, Mathieu Sometre, and Germany's Sebastian Koch. So, as with the Minimax division, it will be 11 minutes plus an additional lap for this penultimate race of the weekend for Junior Rotax. 41 drivers made it here, and now we have said goodbye to 5 drivers whose weekend came to an end in the second chance heat this morning. So the field makes its way through the final right-hander and slows to a crawl. Schormans and Radenkovic will be controlling the pace as the red lights are ignited on the starting gantry, ahead of 11 minutes plus 1 additional lap. The drivers split. They head into the tram lines. Revs rise. Are we ready? Are we steady? The junior pre-final gets underway. Good start by the inside row going into turn number 1. Schormans and Louet lead the way. There has been a little bit of a drama. There's 2 carts off at the back end of the grid. One already getting out. That is the 245. That's Oscar Gucho from France, who didn't take part in the heats yesterday and might have a problem, maybe chain related with the engine, that has caused problems for him. Somebody else has just been off the track. That was one of the Dan Holland racing carts, who's just rejoined in front of teammate Cameron Nelson. Can't really make out who that was as the drivers make their way through into turn 9, into turn 10. Now the leaders coming through into turn 12. And someone making up a couple of positions. That was more than likely a JJ Racing cart that I've just seen. Might have been Max Cuthbert that might have just made up a couple of positions. So Kasper Schormans leads the way. Second, it's Boluet. Fracassi now up into second position, having got past Boluet through turn number 1. So the drivers make their way through out of turn 4 into turn number 5. Schormans leads the way. Fracassi has been a little bit of a threat so far this weekend, has led heat so far yesterday. As they go through turn 7. Very, very closely packed indeed between pretty much the entirety of the field, apart from Oscar Gucho, who looks to be out. 9.5 seconds covering all 35 drivers. As, oh no! We've had one cart turned around. And Zayn El Homosani is not going any further. The back axle bent on the left-hand side, and the Yazheat Racing Driver Academy's race is done. So someone was pointing the wrong way. And was that... Oh, that was Boaz Maximov. I think that was Boaz Maximov, who just had a massive... And that was August Raber, who had an almighty front end. That was front-to-front impact between the pair. Maximov out. August Raber, I think, has managed to continue. And also, we've had a penalty issued for Boaz Maximov, whose race has been abruptly ended. 5-second time penalty for breaking formation with all four wheels outside of the tram lines. And once again, it looks, well, we have got yellow flags off of turns 10 and 11. So there is Zayn El Homosani's kart on the bottom right. In the middle, that is Boaz Maximov's kart. And, in the meantime, there has been a change at the front. Alberto Kiko Fracassi is now leading. Kenzo Craigie up to third. Shawman's down to second. Loet down to fourth. And there is Mateo Radenkovic. Lucas Sell now also joins the top six. There's Archie Clark in seventh. Armand Hamilton, Julian Kovacevic, and steadily, silently making his way up through the field. Max Cuthbert completes the top 10. So we're already down to 32 drivers. Mathieu Saumetre down in 32nd. Gabriel Murray saying, come on, Theo Palmer. Well, Theo is currently 30th at the moment in the 2:49. But the dogfight continues at the front end of the field. Fracassi still leads. Now on to lap number 5 with 7 minutes still to go, plus an additional lap. Shawman's, Craigie, Loet, Radenkovic and Sells round out the top 6. Great scrap here for 7th, being led by Archie Clark. Armand Hamilton, Max Cuthbert in the meantime has got past Germany's Julian Kovacevic for 9th. 11th, it's Krik Norden. Timo Jungling finds himself all the way down in 12th position. He started on the outside of row number 2. The number 265 from Dan Holland Racing. Hamza Al-Fayez up to 16th behind Thomas Ingram Hill in the 228. Thomas Behrman 17th, having started 24th. Al-Fayez started 21st. Ingram Hill started 15th. As there's a change for position. That is Armand Hamilton. Through on Archie Clark. That's for 7th position. So 5 minutes down, 6 to go, plus an additional lap. Fracassi had a slender lead as it's getting a bit feisty up at the front end of the field. Radenkovic looks to have gotten through up a position. And he is up to 4th. Casper Shawmans is tussling with the 296 coming out of turn 7 through into turn 8. So Shawmans is now down into 5th place. Just behind him is the 235 of Lucas Sell. In the lead of the race now is Alberto Kiko Fracassi. So in total, we do already have 4 out. August Raber did not carry on after the front end, the head-on collision between himself and Boaz Maximov, but both walked away from it. So it's Alberto Kiko Fracassi, Kenzo Craigie, Bo Loet, Mateo Radenkovic, Casper Shawmans, Lucas Sell, Armand Hamilton, Archie Clark, Max Cuthbert and Julian Kovacevic that ran at the top 10. Jungling now past Krik Norden for 11th position. Running at the top 15 now is Thomas Ingram Hill in the number 228. Josh Graham started down in 20th, currently sitting in 23rd position. Thomas Ingram Hill, in the meantime, has set the fastest lap on lap number 4 of this race, 56.482 seconds. Kenzo Craigie has got a fight in his hand because here comes Boluet up the inside through into turn 1 to take second position away from the Argenti Motorsport driver. But they are being closed in on by the quartet behind, but also starting to close in a little bit by a little bit at the moment. Are the likes of Archie Clark, Max Cuthbert, and Julian Kovacevic. Well, Kovacevic is dropping a little bit behind Max Cuthbert. So very shortly we'll complete lap number 8 of this Junior Rotax pre-final, and Alberto Kiko Fracassi is still leading the way ahead of Boluet. Dave Stevens has just retired a couple of laps ago, and I've just noticed the 2:47 Archie Clark has just been given a 5-second time penalty by race control by causing an avoidable collision. So Archie Clark, running 8th on the road, will be a little bit further down come the end of this race. So with a 5-second time penalty, that's going to put him around 16th, 17th, if things were to finish as they are right now. But Alberto Kiko Fracassi still leading. Armand Hamilton has the fastest lap in the pocket at the moment. The driver in 7th position on lap 7, set a 56.257. Fracassi has a slender lead. Boluet is right on his case. Craigie is there. Radenkovic, Shawmans, Lucas Els, and now add Armand Hamilton. It's a 6-kart train at the front of the field. Through into the right-hand sweeper at 6 they go. At high velocity, hard on the brakes, turn it right. Into the hairpin at turn 7. Bump over the curbs through the left here at 8. Through this slight chicane, through 9 into 10. But Fracassi doing exactly what he needs to do. Staying in front, staying ahead of the rest of the opposition. So, a minute and a half to go, and Fracassi still leads. He's slightly extended his lead to just over 0.2 of a second. Kenzo Craigie in 3rd, Matej Radenkovic in 4th. Kasper Schaumann still remains in 5th position. 6, Lucas Sell is now up the inside of Radenkovic, who went a little bit wide going into turn 4, who's nearly interlocking wheels with the 2.35 of Lucas Sell, who's just got through. Radenkovic has also lost another position to Armand Hamilton and drops down from 4th to 7th. Just under 60 seconds on the timer remains in this pre-final here in Junior Rotax. So retirements, lap 5, Dave Stevens. Lap 2, Boris Maximov, August Raber and Zain El Homosani. Oscar Gucho's kart failing through the opening corner of the first lap. So 2 laps to go after this. So we're underway with the penultimate lap. And Alberto Kiko Fracassi still continues to lead, but by just over 0.18 of a second. Craigie still holding station in 3rd. Radenkovic down in 7th position. Timo Jungling in the meantime, who's now up to 11th position, has put in the fastest lap of the race. 56.206. By the 2.65, based out of London in the UK. Timer has now expired. 1 more lap remains after this. And Fracassi looks to be starting to extend his lead. Tom Streller has just put in the fastest lap. The Latvian for Dan Holland Racing in the 2.38. 56.150. Last lap board is out. Fracassi leads the field around this 1.388 kilometre circuit for the final time in this penultimate race of the weekend. So they head through turn 3, now into turn number 4. So just 8 corners remain in this final lap of the race. This circuit has been around since 1987. And that is effectively 36 years of operation, as we have got a yellow flag. Right, we've got a bit of a drama coming, and that was Cameron Nelson and Theo Palmer coming together. So yellow flags going into turn 10, but out of the final corner, it's going to be a run to the line. Who's going to take it? It is Alberto Kiko Fracassi. He's going to get it, is he? No, hang on, yes. Closest winning margin this weekend. Alberto Kiko Fracassi wins a pre-final in the Euro Trophy, and by the smallest margin for a very, very long time, 14 thousandths, as Boluet went to the outside of the Italian, going down towards the start-finish line. Alberto Kiko Fracassi picks up the victory in the pre-final ahead of Boluet. Kenzo Craigie rounds out the top 3 ahead of Kasper Schormans, Lucas Sell, Armand Hamilton, Matej Radenkovic, Max Cuthbert. Archie Clark will stay 9th, but not for very much longer, because he will drop after a 5-second penalty for causing a collision. That will promote Timo Jungling and Krik Norden and quite a few others. So provisionally it's Jungling in 10th, Norden in 11th, head of Julian Kovacevic, Max Sidursky, Hamza Al-Fayez. There's another penalty going through. That is for the 2-2-8. That's Thomas Ingram Hill, who finishes behind Archie Clark and Charlie Smith. Thomas Behrman, Matthias Jellerup, Tom Streller, Ollie Wise, Laura Bubanova, Thomas Ingram Hill now 22nd on the adjusted penalties that were initiated through the race. Olivier Jonkers, Noah Janssen, Casper Nissen, Ryan Bourguignon, Sebastian Koch, Mathieu Saumetre, and Antoine Grissel, the last of the 29 classified finishers, completing the full 13 laps. And Cameron Nelson and Theo Palmer out with 1 lap to go, going through into turn number 11. Dave Stevens out on lap 5. August Reber, Zain El Homosani, Boris Maximov, and Oscar Goodshot all retired from the race.